There is a man in Lagos with no bank account, and a woman in Buenos Aires whose currency lost most of its value while she slept. Neither of them can open an American bank account. Both of them are holding US dollars tonight. And without knowing it, both of them are lending money to the United States government. Welcome to MarketRacoon, your financial learning channel. Today, the strangest export in the world and the quiet machine that carries it. Let's start with the thing itself. A stablecoin is a token that is supposed to always be worth $1. You send a company $1 real, they mint you one token, and they promise you can swap it back for $1 whenever you want. That is it. That is the whole product. Which should sound familiar. Back in episode 5, we said your bank balance is not money, it is an IOU. A stablecoin is exactly that, a private company's IOU for $1. And it rides on the crypto rails we talked about in episode 6. An old promise on a new road. So who uses them? Not mainly the traders you would expect. The heaviest users, per person, are people whose own money keeps failing them. In Turkey, stablecoin buying, measured against the size of the economy, is the highest in the world. The lira went from about 1 to the dollar in 2008 to over 40. In Nigeria, the International Monetary Fund counted roughly $22 billion of stablecoins flowing in over a single year. Stablecoins are now close to half of all crypto activity in sub-Saharan Africa, and sending money home costs 2 or 3% through this route, instead of 6 to 10. Think about what that actually means. In a lot of these places, more people own a smartphone than own a bank account. There is no branch, no paperwork, no minimum balance, no permission. But there is a phone, and on that phone, they can hold the world's reserve currency. That is the first half of the trick. The United States just gained millions of dollar users who could never have walked into an American bank. No embassy, no treaty, no branch network. Just an app. The dollar let itself in. Now the second half, and this is the part almost nobody explains. When that person hands over their money for a token, where does their real money go? The issuer does not leave it sitting in a vault doing nothing. They invest it, overwhelmingly, in short-term United States government debt. So follow the chain. A man in Lagos buys a dollar token. His money goes to the issuer. The issuer buys US Treasury bills, which means that man, with no bank account, has just financed the American government. He was not asked. He was not told. He simply wanted a currency that would not collapse. And the scale is genuinely strange. Tether, the largest issuer, has disclosed holding roughly $141 billion of exposure to US government debt. If Tether were a country, that would put it around 17th or 18th on America's own list of foreign holders, roughly level with Saudi Arabia, more than Germany. Let me be honest about the size though, because this gets exaggerated online. All the stablecoin issuers together are only about 3% of the short-term treasury bill market. Mutual funds hold vastly more. This is not yet the thing holding up the US government. It is a new, fast-growing, and very unusual lender. What makes it unusual is who is behind it. Foreign central banks have been trimming their pile of American debt for years now. But this money is not a central bank. It is millions of ordinary people in places the dollar never used to reach, each holding a token they think of as cash. Quick quiz, and I want your answer in the comments. In this arrangement, who do you think gains the most? The person escaping their broken currency, the company issuing the token and keeping the interest, or the government whose debt quietly finds a new home? There is a law coming that makes this permanent. The United States passed the Genius Act in 2025. It is not fully in force yet. The rules are still being written, but when it lands, it will require a compliant dollar stablecoin to be backed by cash or government paper of 90 free days or less. Nothing else. Not gold. Not Bitcoin. Read that again, because it is remarkable. The law does not merely allow this. It mandates it. The only legal way to issue an American dollar token will be to hold American government debt behind it. Growth of the token becomes, automatically, demand for the debt. And now the honest turn, both directions. For the woman in Buenos Aires, this is not a scam, it is a lifeline. Her currency lost around 95% against the dollar in 5 years. A token that merely holds still is life-changing. I'm not going to sneer at that from a country with a stable currency. But it is still an IOU, and IOUs can break. In March 2023, $3.3 billion of one issuer's reserves were stuck inside a failing American bank. The token dropped to about 87 cents. It recovered in 3 days. Notice the lesson though. The crypto did not fail. The bank did. And there is a switch. Because the issuer runs the ledger, the issuer can freeze your coins. Tether has now blacklisted over 9,000 addresses and frozen more than $5.5 billion of tokens. When one mixing service was sanctioned, another issuer froze around $75,000 of coins within hours. No court date, no warning. Which is episode 6 rule, wearing a suit. Not your keys, not your coins, issuer edition. That woman escaped a government that could ruin her savings by printing. She now holds savings a company can switch off with one line of code at the request of a government on the other side of the planet. And the horse can kick backwards too. Researchers at the Bank for International Settlements found that when money flows into these tokens, it nudges Treasury yields down a little. But when money flows out, yields rise 2 to 3 times harder. A structural buyer in calm times is a structural seller in a panic. So here's the shape of the whole thing. Everyone argued about whether crypto would replace the dollar. Meanwhile, the most used crypto asset on Earth turned out to be the dollar. The wooden horse was the technology. What climbed out was the currency. And what it quietly carried back out into millions of pockets that America could never have reached was American debt. Your portable rule for today. A stablecoin is not a bet against the dollar. It is the most powerful tool the dollar has ever had. And if you hold one, you are not just a user. You are the distribution. If this changed how you see the dollar, the episode on why your bank does not actually have your money is the one to watch next. It is the foundation this whole thing is built on. One money illusion demolished every week. Subscribe.